words only.
Sukha.
Sukha.
Iti Sukha.
Iti Sukha. Self-protection. Security. Liberation. Freedom. Peace. Peace. And happiness. Satisfaction. Delight. So today is the beginning of the series of discourses. So these will be the topics of discussion. This arakha means guarding one's physical, verbal, mental behaviors so as not to allow the three forms of kilesas, gross, medium and refined forms, to arise or to happen or to occur. There are two kinds of protection: self-protection and protecting others. Self-protection, of these two kinds of protection, self-protection is more important. In the world, most beings are weak in guarding their physical, verbal, mental behaviors in order to overcome these three kinds of or forms of kilesas. Instead of guarding one's behaviors, by body, speech and mind, most people would leave their mind uncontrolled. That means having themselves on their free will, having a free will so as to satisfy their own desires. Of course, when one let oneself have one's own free will, free license, giving free license in order to satisfy one's own desires, there may be the temporary happiness, but later on one's physical, verbal, mental behaviors will become blameworthy and impure. If the behaviors are blameless, it will be impure, then these behaviors will be uncultured, not gentle, not pleasing, with unwholesome results, leading to unwholesome results. When there is no protection, there will be no security. If there is no security, there will be no freedom from bondage. And there will be no peace. And there will be no satisfaction. There will be only grief and sorrow.
ဘုရားမြတ်စွာဘုရားရဆိုရင်ကိုယ်ရဲ့နှုတ်ပဲစိတ်ကိုစိတ်စားရင်ထိတ်ချုပ်ရမယ်ဆိုတော့ရှိပါတယ်ထိတ်ချုပ်တဲ့နည်းတွေလည်းအပြည့်ပေါ်ခဲ့ပါတယ်
In accordance with the Buddha's teachings or Buddha's wishes, it becomes necessary to control or guard these physical, verbal, mental behaviors, and the Buddha has given the method of control.
ဒီတော့ရှင်ရလည်းရှင်ရဟန်းလိုက်လူလည်းလူလိုက်သူဆိုင်ရာကိုနှုတ်နှမျိုးကိုထိမ့်သိမ်းဆောက်ချောက်တဲ့ဒီလိုစိတ်ခါတွေမြတ်စွာဘုရားပြခဲ့ပါတယ်။ဘုရားတော်ကိုဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တောင်းလို့နဲ့သုံးလို့ခွင့်နေတောင်းပြောနဲ့သုံးပြောတယ်ဘယ်လိုကောင်းပြောကောင်းနဲ့သိရချက်တွေကရှောင်းနေဆိုရင်ရှင်ရများကဘုံဘုံလုံးကိုဆိုတယ်ကိုယ်ကျိုးလုံးကိုရဒါလို့ဆိုရင်အခြေခံကောင်းတာပါဒီများပါအနည်းဆုံး၅ပါးဒီလောက်တော့ထိနေတယ်လို့ရှိရင်ဒီများပါဘုံလုံးကိုသိတယ်ကိုယ်ကျိုးလုံးကိုရ
Buddha has given the Sila Sikha, the morality training in order to control physical and verbal behaviors for monks and lay people. As for monks, there are laid down these disciplines, not to do certain things, not to speak certain things. And so long as the monks abstain from these disciplines, these unwholesome, the immoral things, then they are bound to purify their physical, verbal behaviors and then cultivate them. Then it will be basically sound. As for the lay people, they should observe the 5 precepts. So long as they are able to sustain the 5 precepts, they are purifying and cultivating their physical, verbal behaviors.
ကိုယ်ကိုယ်စိတ်တော်ကိုယ်တုံးနဲ့အရှိတ်ချောက်ကပြီးတော့ကိုယ်နဲ့လှုပ်ကျန်ရအောင်ကာဝယ်ဆောက်ရှောက်ခြင်းဒီလိုပါလေအတိတ်ကရအောင်ကာဝယ်ဆောက်ရှောက်ခြင်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်။အခါတခါလည်းဒီလိုပါကိုလိုအပ်ပေါ်မှာကျင်နာတနာပြီးတော့ဒီလိုပါမတိတ်ကရအောင်ကာဝယ်ဆောက်ရှောက်ခြင်းအားဖြင့်ကိုယ်ကိုယ်ကိုလည်းပဲမမြင်တော့ရအောင်ကိုယ်လှုပ်မရိုက်စရအောင်ကျန်ရအောင်ဆက်စုပ်ကိုရအောင်ပြအောင်ဘယ်လိုလုပ်ကာဝယ်ဆောက်ရှောက်ခြင်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်
With one's own prudence, that is sound reasoning, power of reason, and with the practice of moral shame or moral fear, shame and fear of wrongdoing, one can protect one's physical, verbal, mental behaviors so that they are not gross, they are not immoral. In this way, one will not be defiled. By not defiling oneself, one is said with protecting others. At other times, with compassionate feeling, one is protecting others by not doing harm to others. By so doing, one is not defiling oneself, and one will be protecting one's physical, verbal behavior so that they don't become gross and immoral. In this way, we have two methods. One method is controlling oneself so that others are controlled. Another method is helping others help oneself. So in this way, there are these two methods.
ဒီကားတွေမှာအဲ့ဒီလောက်အခြေခံကိုယ်ပိုင်ကာဝယ်မှုစွမ်းရည်ကောင်းသွားလို့ရှိရင်ကိုယ်လည်းပဲဆောက်ရှောက်ပြီးသားဖြစ်သူတစ်ပါးလည်းဆောက်ရှောက်ပြီးသားဖြစ်သွားတော့နှစ်ဖက်လုံချုံနေပါတယ်နှစ်ဖက်လုံချုံနေဆိုတာအလုံးကျမ်းတဲ့ဥဒိကမကိလေသာ
In this way, for the human beings, if they are well grounded in this basic moral conduct, that will amount to self-protection. By self-protection, others are protected. And as much there will be dual security, because both are protected. One is protected, oneself is protected, and others are protected. In this way, there will be dual security, and thus one will be protected from gross forms of transgressive forms of kilesas or immoral deeds, docharitas. In this way, if one practices this method of security, then one will be protected from the gross forms of kilesas, and one will be secure as to the kaya docharitas, from secure from kaya docharitas, vachi docharitas. Kaya docharitas, physical immoral deeds, and vachi docharitas, verbal immoral deeds. In this way, one will be free, vimukti, from these immoral deeds. If one has come to this situation, then one will achieve santi, that means peace, from two kinds of two gross forms, namely the kilesas and the docharitas, of vachi docharita and physical docharitas. So in this way, one attains peace. Whenever one reflects upon oneself, one will feel peace and happy, because one is peaceful by physical and verbal behaviors. Then there will be purity, because there is a peace, there is purity, and one will become satisfied. That means one will feel peaceful. There will be piti. One will become delighted with this state of affairs. Then this will lead to happiness, and this will achieve. In this way, there will be peace, santi. So, if there is protection, there will be security. If there is security, there will be freedom. If there is freedom, there will be peace. This will be the cause for happiness for those who follow systematically this method of practice.
ကိုပြန်စဉ်းစားမိလိုက်တဲ့အခါမှာအောက်ဝိဇ္ဇာဖြစ်နေတာနှလုံးမသားနှလုံးသားရမှုဖြစ်နေတာတိတ်အာပြောရွှင်အဲ့ဒါကိုပြောရတယ်ကိုကျင်းတဲ့ဝိကျင်အထင်ကြီးမခံရလို့ကျင်းတဲ့ပရဏုဝရဘေခေါ်တာဝနာအတ္တနုဝရဘေပရဏုဝရဘေတဏ္ဍဘေကျင်းလို့ကျင်းတဲ့တော့တမလို့ရေးတွေးလိုက်လို့ကျင်းတယ်ပဲဒုက္ခတိတွေကလွတ်နိုင်တယ်ဆိုတော့ကျင်းတဲ့အဲ့ဒါဒီပြန်စဉ်းစားပြီးတော့နှလုံးမသားရဘူးကျင်းတယ်နှလုံးသားရတယ်တိတ်အားရတယ်စိတ်ပျော်ရွှင်တယ်အဲ့လိုကြီးနဲ့ပျော်ရွှင်ရတာဘယ်နဲ့ကောင်းလဲ
Then there will be delight and happiness and free from what is known as viparisara. That means sorrow or grief, being worrying about the past, that I have done this mistake of physical and verbal misbehaviors. Whenever one reflects upon oneself, one will feel very sorry, one will regret. This is viparisara. The reverse of this is aviparisara. So, if one is fulfilled with these things, such as protection, these four things, namely protection, security, freedom, and peace, there will be only aviparisara, the reverse of worry or grief or lamentation. Then there will be delight and happiness. One will be satisfied with oneself. There will be no adanuvada bhaya. That means the danger of self-blame. Instead, there will be only delights. And also one will be free from the second kind of danger, that is paranuvada bhaya, blame by the society, blame by others. And then the third kind of danger, danda bhaya, blame or the danger of punishment by law. And then the last one is dukkadipaya, the danger of falling into the states of loss, danger of wrongful destiny or lower destinies, falling into lower destinies. In this way, whenever one reflects upon oneself, if one is free from physical, verbal, mental behaviors, because one is fulfilled with these four things, namely protection, security, freedom, and peace, one will become delighted and happy, free from grief and sorrow. This is very good. In a sense, one will be free from fear, because one is abstained from unwholesome things. One becomes fearless. This fearlessness is extremely good. If one possesses such kind of fearlessness, then if one is monk, one will be basically worthy monk. If one is a human being, a lay person, one will be a worthy lay person.
တက်တဲ့ထိချုံရတော့ရပါလေဘုဒ္ဓဘာသာဒီလိုနည်းထိချုံရဟောဘယ်မှာစပေါ်လိုက်အာယုပေါ်တဲ့လက်ကြီးအားဆိုင်ပြီးတော့ကျော်ရတော့ရှိအောင်မှာစိတ်ကလေးစီစီပေးနေတာအဲ့ဒီခိုက်တာမှာတစ်ချက်ပေါ်တယ်ခဏကသမာဓိလေးဖြစ်သွားတဲ့အခါမှာသမာဓိစိတ်ကလေးဖြစ်သွားတဲ့အခါမှာခဏစိတ်ထဲနဲ့တော့စိတ်နဲ့တော့မကျุလို့ပြီးတော့စိတ်လုံးချုံသွားတယ်စိတ်သမာဓိတွေကလည်းကာဝယ်ဆောက်တော့ပြီးတော့လုံးချုံသွားတယ်
However, if there is no practice to restrain or control one's mind, if one does not know the method of controlling one's mind, or even if one knows the method, one is not undertaking the practice, then there will be no security as far as the mental behaviors is concerned. It will become, there's a possibility of obsessive defilements to arise in one's stream of consciousness, such as one will wish mentally to kill, steal, commit sexual misconduct, tell false speech, speak falsely, speak maliciously, harshly, meaninglessly, and so on. For this, Sila Seka is not enough. Sila Seka cannot control these obsessive kinds of defilements, because one cannot control one's mental behaviors. Of course, the method to control this mental behavior is the method of Satipatthana. Although Samatha method can control, here we are concerned with Satipatthana, way of mindfulness, to note every rising and falling and other arising objects as they arise, with energetic aim to sustain one's mindfulness and to concentrate one's mind. So at that moment, there will be Khanika Samadhi, momentary concentration arising, and in this way, with Samadhi Sekha, concentration training, one will become secure from obsessive defilements. One is said to be protecting oneself from these obsessive defilements. So, in this way, one is exercising energy in order to sustain one's mindfulness, leading to concentration of the mind. Then one is said to be protected from obsessive defilements, pariyuttana kilesas. As one is exercising energy in order to direct one's noting mind towards the object of observation, one is said to be ridding oneself or removing the kilesas. And as one is able to activate mindfulness, the kilesas are not allowed to enter one's stream of consciousness. One is said to be protected. And as one exercise or develop momentary concentration, there will be no distraction of the mind, no scattering, uddhacca. So in this way, one is said to be protected from obsessive defilements which can arise in one's mind. By protection, there will be security, and if there is security, one will become free, vimukti, from the bondage of these defilements and achieve peace, santi.
အဲ့ဒါလို့နီးနဲ့10 မိနစ်2 မိနစ်စသည်ပေါ့မိနစ်ပေါင်းများစွာဝိပဿနာကိလေသာတွေစံတိခြင်းဒါစိတ်ဟာအဲ့ရနောက်ချက်ကြီးတော့ပြီးတော့အတေကောင်းနေပေါ့အဲ့ဒီအတေကောင်းနဲ့ကောင်းတော့အောင်ပေါ့ကြိုးစားနေမှုဟာကြိုးစားသူရဲ့ကြော်ရှင်ချမ်းမြေခြင်းအငြိမ်းခံကြဖြစ်တော့နောက်တော့ဒီကနေ့တရားရဲ့ပဋိသေစာလေးဖြစ်လာတယ်ဒုက္ခလပဋိလေးတွေပါပဋိဖြစ်ရဲ့ဒုက္ခလိုက်ချမ်းသာမှုဖြစ်လာတယ်ဘုရားစိတ်ပဲချမ်းသာနောက်ဘလောပဋိလေးတွေဖြစ်လာမယ်အကြမ်းဖြစ်လာတော့ဖြစ်လာလို့ရှိရင်ဘလောပဋိဖြစ်တော့ချမ်းသာလည်းမရနိုင်ဘူးဘုရားစိတ်ပဲချမ်းသာအဲဒီကျိုးတွေရတယ်
In this way, one is practicing mindfulness and concentration from 1 minute to 2 minutes and many minutes in such a way that one will become free from these pariyutthana kilesas, achieving peace, santi. Then one is said to be well grounded as far as the mental behaviors are concerned, and this will be the cause for happiness of such practitioners. And there will arise this minor rapturous feelings, dobala piti. As much as there is minor rapturous feeling, one will have delight and happiness physically and mentally, which will again lead to balava piti, very powerful form of rapture very soon, and realize peace and happiness physically and mentally. These are the benefits that one can get, or these are the fruits of the practice that one can realize.
ဘလောပီတိဆိုတာကအဲ့ဒီအဆင့်လောက်မှာတော့မထင်ရှားသေးဘူးအသိဉာဏ်ကြီးဖြစ်လာတဲ့ခါကျမှစိတ်ကိုထူးကြပါတယ်ဘုရားသဖြင့်ဒုတိယဗျာဉာဏ်ဝဲလောက်ရောက်လာပြီဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဘလောပီတိတွေအလုံးထင်ရှားတာပဲ
This balava piti, very powerful form of rapture, is not quite obvious at this stage. But when one cultivates knowledge, when knowledge blossoms, then this will become very unusual, remarkable, especially at the stage of Uriyabhya Jnana, the knowledge of the contemplation of fast arising and falling away of objects. ဒီလိုစိတ်ခံနဲ့ကိုယ်နှုတ်မကြမ်းတမ်းရအောင်တောက်လျှောက်ကာကွယ်ပေးလို့အခြေခံလူနဲ့ပြီးသားတဲ့အပေါ်မှာအခြေခံလူပြီးသားတဲ့အပေါ်မှာကိုယ်လိုဝိရိယစတိသမာဓိခေါ်တဲ့သမာဓိစိတ်ခါအဲဒီကတော်တော်လေးပြည့်စုံလာပြီဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အခြေခံလူလိုစိတ်ထားတတ်တယ်အဲတော့ဒီလားနဲ့လူနဲ့အခြေခံလူနဲ့တူရမယ်သမာဓိနဲ့ကလူလိုစိတ်ထားတတ်ရမယ်ဆိုတာဘယ်လောက်ဆိုရင်တော်တော်လေးလုံလောက်ပါပါ In this way, with the practice of Sila Sikha, morality training, one is protected from physical, verbal, gross forms of behaviors by body and speech, and thus one will become secure. And in this way, at this stage, one is said to be basically worthy human being. On top of this, if one is fulfilled with Samadhi Sikha, that is Kriya Sati Samadhi, the exercise of energy, mindfulness and concentration, one will be able to possess human mind, basic human mentality. So with Sila, one becomes a worthy human being. With Samadhi, or Samadhi Sikha, one is said to become, to possess basic human mentality. And this much will be sufficient for the practitioners.
လူလိုစိတ်ထားတတ်တယ်ဆိုတာကစိတ်ပိုင်းဆိုင်ရာမနောက3မျိုးလုံနေတဲ့သဘောလေးကြားတာဘုလိုဝိရိယစတိသမာဓိသိက္ခာ3ရဖြစ်နေတယ်ဆိုတော့စိတ်ကလေးကစင်ကြဲနေတာစင်ကြဲတယ်ဆိုတာဒီလိုရဲ့ဒီအပိုင်ရှိတဲ့သဘောလည်းမရှိဘူးအပိုင်ရှိတဲ့သဘောအပြင်ပဲကာမဂုဏ်အာယုန်တွေကိုလိုလားတဲ့သဘောပေါ့ပေါင်းတာလေးမြင်နေတာကြားနေတာနားနေတာစားနေတာထိနေတာဒီခိုက်တာမှပြည့်ဘူးဒါတော့သူပိုင်ပစ္စည်း